Hello everyone, and welcome back to Queen Elizabeth, A Day in Her Life. It's time for the royal news. So let's see what's been going on around the date of November the 6th, 2025. The first story comes from the Dayton Daily News, and it's dated November the 6th, 2025. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor officially no longer a prince after King formally removes his title. Using a formal document affixed with a royal seal, King Charles III has formally stripped his brother, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, of a title of prince. The disgraced royal has also lost the designation His Royal Highness after the king issued a letters patent, a centuries-old type of document used by monarchs to bestow and remove appointments or titles. An announcement published Wednesday in the Gazette, the UK's official public record, said the king has been pleased by letters patent under the Great Seal of the Realm, dated 3 November 2025, to declare that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor shall no longer be entitled to hold and enjoy the style, title, or attribute of Royal Highness and the titular dignity of Prince. The king also formally removed the title Duke of York from his brother. The king announced on October 31st that he was removing his brother's titles and evicting him from the royal residence over his relationship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Demand had been growing on the palace to oust the 65-year-old prince from his Royal Lodge home over new revelations about his friendship with Epstein and renewed attention on sexual abuse allegations by one of Epstein's victims, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, whose posthumous memoir was published last month. The king went even further to punish Mountbatten Windsor for serious lapses of judgment by removing the title of prince that he had held since birth as a child of a monarch, the late Queen Elizabeth II. Andrew was also moving from Royal Lodge, the 30-room mansion near Windsor Castle, where he lived for more than 20 years, into a more remote home funded by his brother on the king's 20,000-acre Sandringham estate in eastern England. The king's decision was welcomed by the family of Giuffre, who died by suicide in April at the age of 41. She said that in the early 2000s, when she was a teenager, she was caught up in Epstein's sex trafficking ring and exploited by Andrew and other influential men. Epstein was found dead in New York City jail in 2019 in what investigators called a suicide. Andrew denies Giuffre's accusations. The second story comes from the Fox News, dated November the 4th, 2025. Prince Andrew's Royal Lodge eviction leaves Sarah Ferguson determined to stand on her own 2 feet. This is by Sarah Sotoudeh and Ashley Papa, Fox News. While Sarah Ferguson's future residence is still unclear, her next steps will reportedly include living separately from her ex-husband, former Prince Andrew. Just days prior, King Charles III initiated a formal process to remove his younger brother Andrew's style, title, and honors and serve notice to vacate Royal Lodge. British royals expert Hilary Fordwich told Fox News Digital that Ferguson, 66, is deserting him with the intention to rent or purchase her own home, most likely in Berkshire, where she has lived most of her entire life. British broadcaster and photographer Helena Shard said that while there is uncertainty over Ferguson's future, she is determined to stand on her own 2 feet. Shard noted that Sarah will not move in with Andrew, despite always being the faithful ex-wife. She realizes it will do her no favors continuing her association with him. She's going to be moving out and into a separate home, a source close to Ferguson previously told People, adding that she's going to move forward independently. Fox News Digital has reached out to Buckingham Palace for a comment. Ferguson and Andrew lived together at the estate for about 17 years. Andrew moved into the property in 2003, with Ferguson moving in 5 years later. Ferguson, who already lost her title, the Duchess of York, is full of fun and has supportive friends and has a determined streak to turn things around and make her girls proud, Chard said. Chard said of Ferguson's daughters, Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice, adding that in time she will rise like a phoenix. Their children, Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice, will keep their titles. Royal expert Ian Pelham Turner noted that Andrew is apparently moving to a property on the Sandringham estate, which is located in Norfolk. Forwitz believes it's now highly unlikely she will live with Andrew again, adding that she has never lived in Norfolk, nor is likely to want to start from scratch. The locals in Norfolk aren't at all keen on Andrew coming to live, and she'll know they're not going to be welcome. Ferguson hasn't actually asked for a new property, nor any financial provision, Forwitz said, which in turn means security will be her own responsibility. Ferguson and Andrew living together post-divorce at Royal Lodge was rooted more in practicality and friendship than a sort of reconciliation, albeit she had declared that they were the happiest divorced couple, Forwitz explained. They married in 1986 before separating in 1992 and divorcing in 1996. Chard noted that a reliable source shared that Andrew invited Sarah to join him in Sandringham. However, Sarah is apprehensive as she wants to be near her grandchildren. I think Andrew and Sarah are very focused parents and grandparents, so Sarah will want to be very close to them in London, and Andrew, even in Sandringham, will want to do his full part, Turner noted. They are both very good parents. Chard believes that if Ferguson keeps a low profile and out of sight, the public will soon forget and leave Sarah alone to plot a good path forward. The one thing secure in Ferguson's life at the moment, Chard noted, is her beloved corgis, Sandy and Muke. Sandy and Muke were Queen Elizabeth II's dogs. They have been in the care of Ferguson and Andrew since the Queen's death in September 2022. Amid mounting pressure from the public, King Charles III initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of his brother, Prince Andrew, who will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, per Buckingham Palace statement released last week. The move came after King Charles III was heckled during a visit to a cathedral. The heckler asked the king about Andrew's ties to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, which reportedly deeply rattled him, for which previously told Fox News Digital. His lease on Royal Lodge has to date provided him with legal protection to continue in residence. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternative private accommodation, the statement read. The censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. The announcement came weeks after Andrew announced he was relinquishing his Duke of York title after British author Andrew Lawney published an unauthorized biography entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York. Their daughters Beatrice and Eugenie, who are much loved members of the royal family, can't escape their family scandal, Chard weighed in. The fact they have kept their princess's title will be a small win for Andrew, who will always want to protect his daughters, Chard added. While they get to keep their titles since they are the children of the son of a sovereign, the fallout will be more on a social level. They will probably be deeply affected emotionally and socially, probably pretty much ostracized within the upper class circles and their acquaintances, Forwitz speculated. Since it's a massive scandal, they are bound to be devastated by their parents' disgrace, royal expert Richard Fitzwilliam said. How Kate and Camilla influenced King Charles's difficult Andrew decision. This story is by Amy McLeodin, dated Saturday, November the 1st, 2025. The royal family has announced that Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and that he'll be leaving Royal Lodge in Windsor for a property on Sandringham Estate in Norfolk, England. Now a royal source is sharing the ways in which Princess Kate and Queen Camilla might have influenced King Charles's decision to demote Prince Andrew. According to People, a royal source suggested that the royal family's statement regarding Prince Andrew's demotion appeared to have been influenced by a female touch. The source further explained, I would think the Queen had a hand in that. There would have been a push from Camilla and Catherine. Additionally, the source believed that the Prince of Wales had a hand in how the news about Prince Andrew was delivered to the general public. There was pressure from William, who would not want to inherit the headache. The source claimed to the outlet it was a family decision. As for the statement itself, the source called it quite strong and suggested they were quite proud when they heard it. The statement in question was released by the royal family October 30th, 2025. His Majesty has today initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew, the statement explained. The royal family's message continued. Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. His lease on Royal Lodge has to date provided him with legal protection to continue in residence. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternative private accommodation, the statement explained. These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny allegations against him. The statement concluded, "Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse." The royal family has announced that Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and that he'll be leaving Royal Lodge in Windsor for a property in Sandringham Estate in northern England. And now the fourth and last story comes from the New York Post from November the 1st, 2025. The real reason Prince William loathed Uncle Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. This story is by Alexandra Belusi, dated Saturday, November the 1st, 2025. There may be royally bad blood between Prince William and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. The pair's feud allegedly stems from a rude comment the disgraced ex-royal 65 made about the Prince of Wales's wife, Kate Middleton, 43. Author Andrew Lowney claims in his royal biography, The Rise and Fall of the Yorks, that William, 43, supported his father, King Charles III's decision to strip Andrew of his royal titles and honors. He, William, also loathes Sarah Ferguson, Andrew's ex-wife, and can't wait for the day when his father throws them both out. An excerpt from a source noted in a book per Daily Mail. The prince's uncle was tied to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and had allegations of sexual misconduct against him. Andrew has repeatedly denied the claims. The book added, "If Charles doesn't, I guarantee you the first thing William does when he eventually becomes king is to get them evicted." The author went on to explain that William, 43, also got upset that Andrew and Ferguson, 66, attended Catherine, Duchess of Kent's funeral in September. William, meanwhile, was furious at being ambushed in this way, according to friends. He has been at pains to distance himself from his uncle and not be photographed with him, Lowney alleged. He believes his father has not dealt with him with sufficient firmness, and that Andrew and Sarah Ferguson have done much to undermine the good work of other members of the royal family. Lowney did not disclose the former prince's alleged remark toward Middleton. The Post reached out to Kensington Palace for comment. Andrew was stripped of his royal titles by King Charles 76 on Thursday after furor over his ties to Epstein erupted in the United Kingdom. So I'm going to stop the video here. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so, it would help the channel to grow, as well as giving it a thumbs up. It's all a great help. And if you haven't clicked on the notification bell, if you could do that, it lets you know when a video is posted. If you happen to see a search button pop up, if you could hit that, it will show my video to even more people and help me to keep growing the channel. And more importantly, I want to wish everyone a good day, and tune in again soon for another episode of Queen Elizabeth, A Day in Her Life, the Royal News. Thank you.